We just saw the Duff, and on this show I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're looking for a recommendation without spoilers, you can watch the first part and find out what we thought and who we would recommend it to. And if you've already seen the movie or don't care to and just want to know everything and don't care about spoilers, we'll let you know when that part starts and you can watch the whole thing. So, The Duff. This is a movie that I've seen a couple of previews for. It's basically about this girl who finds out that she is the designated ugly fat friend in her group of 3 friends. And she basically unfriends her, better looking friends or whatever, and then
literally
goes on a quest to unduff herself, whatever that would be. She does this with the help of her friend / next door neighbor, who is also like one of the most popular guys in the school. And I didn't know how to feel about this movie before I saw it. The trailers kind of made it look like it was going to be sort of oblivious to the fact that it's kind of a bad body image sort of trailer. It kind of comes across as this is a movie that's going to be really depressing without trying to be. It's going to try and be funny about it, but it's just not going to really fly. And there's certainly parts that are like that, but for the most part, it's just lighthearted and fun. I would say that if it had gone a little bit closer, there's some scenes that are satire as opposed to just telling the story, and I think the closer it gets to satire, the better the movie is. But overall, I mean, it's an awkward teenage comedy, and it has its funny moments. It has some legitimate heart to it, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit more than I expected to. So that's about as good as I could have hoped for, I guess. I didn't have a whole lot of I wasn't anticipating this movie. It wasn't something I was really looking forward to, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. So, yeah, I would say if it looks mildly interesting, or if you're looking at it and going, I'm not sure if I can watch a movie that, talks that calls girls that are not ugly or fat ugly and fat, which is a thing that movies do, I wouldn't worry about that quite as much. It's not really that bad about that particular part of it. So that's my thought. What did you guys think?
I thought it was a good movie overall. I think it was just a lighthearted comedy, and I mean, it touched on a lot of the main points that teenage girls have problems with friends groups, or nowadays the internet and how it can be damaging to kids. But I think it was good that she didn't, go with the typical, route of just, maybe going above and beyond to prove to other people that she wasn't the Duff. But it was good. I liked it.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it. The movie had been, I felt like it had been made before, and it took me a while to think about it. And it was kind of like She's All That mixed with a little bit of Easy A.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's very much a movie that's been made before. They've really updated the plot. I mean, they've put a lot of cell phone culture, internet culture into it. But yeah, it's very much a plot I've seen before.
I found it incredibly funny. It was incredibly funny without having any overly annoying parts to it. I was waiting for it to take to hammer it home that, like, this is how you should look, this is not how you should look, but it really didn't.
Yeah.
It presented the Kardashian look versus, your typical girl next door look, and I thought it did a really good job of making everybody seem pretty okay with how they looked. The movie was just really funny. I laughed so hard in a bunch of different scenes. Very good. I definitely suggest going and seeing it when it comes out. So.
I feel like it's like an Easy A meets Mean Girls without the for this generation.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, Easy A and Mean Girls are both better written movies, in my opinion. But the plot is very similar. Those movies, and they don't have the whole, like, the name and the acronym is a problem. Like, that's something that turns people off. It's something that makes people not want to see it. And that was my apprehension walking into it. But
yeah, like when I heard Duff, I immediately jumped to the beer from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to think, and when I saw the trailer, I was like, that looks delightfully horrible.
yeah, it's also slang for butt. Like,
Yeah.
sit on your Duff and
But
And no Hillary Duff cameo. What's up with that?
They really missed it.
They
with
should
that.
have done that.
They really
Sorry,
missed it with that.
spoilers.
But I found myself really enjoying it, and I didn't expect that.
So if that sounds like something you want to go see, please don't let us spoil anything. This is the part where we get into spoilers. So tune out. Watch us again when you're done watching the movie. Otherwise, here's the rest of kind of what we thought about it.
Spoiler: Hillary Duff doesn't show up.
Hillary
There you
Duff
go.
is not in it.
Yeah. there you
Or
go.
is she? She's not. Yeah, I kind of sat back and rather than like, you know, really try to feel the humor or find out what was going on, for the first act or so, I was really just kind of paying attention to the audience and how the audience was reacting to it, responding to it. Because I think this movie is generally for high school age people, probably more for girls than for boys, and probably just younger people in general than me. I'm almost 40, so, you know, my 20th high school reunion is this year. Yeah,
Walk it off.
it's not, but at the same time, I felt like it set up the premise, and then I enjoyed the relationships that it set up and how it didn't really make anybody into a complete stereotype except for Madison, except for the girl that needed to be the villain for the entire movie.
Yeah.
She never has like a humanizing moment or a, you know, yeah, there's nothing like that in it, but she's also, you know, she has like 4 scenes in the whole movie.
She really came across as the stereotypical product of this generation, the product of social media and product of damn Paris Hilton world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's exactly what she played. I mean, she played that part perfectly.
Well, and for as much as they, like, when they started out, they kept doing the thing where they would do a still shot of somebody walking along, and they would hashtag them and, you know, tell you who this person was. And eventually that stuff just kind of washes away. It's not like one of those movies where half of the conversations are done in text messages. Like, they didn't go that route, and I think that was really smart.
That was good. That was really annoying in the beginning of the movie. And
Yeah.
It's distracting. Like, we get that we're painting to the guy that's more attractive, or we're painting to your heartthrob, or this is the jock and this is the princess of the school. I got it. I didn't feel like I needed the subtitles with the hashtags, but
Yeah, I
that's
think
how kids talk.
I mean, I think they were doing that to be funny. Like, I think it was part of the humor, was throwing that in there. But, like, I liked that her conversation, even the conversation where she's like, or they're breaking up on social media, like her and her friends are breaking up on social media, that happens in person, and it's funnier because it's happening in person.
Yeah.
They get to, like, work off of each other.
That was my favorite scene in the entire movie. I laughed so hard.
The other thing that was kind of cracking me up, like on an unintentional basis, was that the I can't even remember the guy's name now. Wesley, the next door neighbor.
Yeah. Robbie Amell.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's a 23-year-old underwear model that goes to this school. I don't know why, but there he is. Like, there are a couple of scenes where he had his shirt off that I was just like, yeah, no high school guy ever looked like that.
No.
And if they did, they must have failed many years.
I like that.
I'm a 9th-year senior.
I feel like he was becoming... He's like auditioning to be this generation's Matthew McConaughey. He just was like, right. Taking off the shirt. All right. Off the shirt. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I think I like that it wasn't a revenge, and I kept almost slipping up and saying it earlier, that it wasn't a revenge movie. Like, she wasn't trying to, like, set the other girls up to just make them look bad or get back at them because they said something really mean to her, or the fact that they went viral with the video that they made when she was at the mall. Mm-hmm. I like that she didn't get back at it. She kind of just stood her ground and was like, we're going to talk it out.
Yeah. And it's
like it should be done, and not over social media. So it wasn't something where everybody attacked her and they had to go violent over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it like, there was a lot of scenes that could have been huge, awkward, party moments that weren't, and that was a good thing. Her having the whole conversation with the first guy that she's interested in, Toby, and figuring out that he's like not who she thought he was, like, that was a plot beat that I spotted 40 minutes before it happened, but the way it was done was very natural. It was a very quiet thing that happened. It was just between the two of them, and it was her responding to it, and her getting together with Wesley by the end was also like, okay, like 10 minutes into the movie, you're like, yeah, that's
gonna happen.
That's how this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
But she wasn't the pathetic, crying, typical girl that you would expect, and I think that she stayed a strong character throughout the entire movie. And she wasn't whiny or sniffling or the cliche type of girl that just kind of sat back and took it and then went mean.
True, and at the same
time, a strong character for girls.
That's true, and at the same time, she wasn't so strong that you don't believe that she's socially awkward.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Believable.
It's like, it's not like Ellen Page and Juno, where it's like, no one fucks with Ellen Page and Juno. Like, she's not. She's together because she's basically playing like what a 27-year-old would be like in high school. Like, it's not, that sort of thing. And if she had played it more confident or more, however you want to say it, it would have been a lot less believable that she can't approach the guy that she likes, or she can't stand up for herself, or whatever you want to say.
Going back to the trailer, like you were talking, there was the scene where she confronts her friends about it. Mm-hmm. You never see her friends again in the trailer, and it kind of makes you think that, oh, well, yeah, you are the Duff, you're onto it. But it was really funny that throughout the movie, she kind of comes to the realization that, oh wait, I'm being a dick. My friends are cool about this, and her friends were pretty cool, and
which that they don't develop in the movie at all. There's just a scene where she decides that she needs to get back together with her friends, and. Yeah, so that part they don't develop at all. And from the Wesley character, I mean, apart from the fact that I don't believe for a minute he's a high school kid, he also doesn't act like a high school kid. He doesn't. He has zero social awkwardness. He's always got the right thing to say. He's always, cool and awesome and all that, and very confident. And more so than just he's the popular kid at school. It's like he's written as...
He walks on water.
He's written as a perfect character instead of being written as someone with some flaws. Like, even him getting together with Madison for like the 5 minutes that they get back together and they're on the rock and then they're at the dance together. Like that whole thing, you're like, they're just doing this, like, they vilified her the whole time to make sure that he never looks like he's
okay with it.
well, it's like he's never against the protagonist. He's never really against her. It was more like, well, you were on a date and she came over and we got back together. Like, why are you mad at me about that? Like, I can't have a girlfriend?
So,
You know? So they really, like, if they had written her character that way, it would have not worked. The movie would have just not worked. But I'm also glad that they didn't, like, make Ken Jeong that character. Like, they didn't, like, have the teacher be the one that gets her through all of this or something weird like that, or her mom be the one that gets her through all of this.
They also didn't beat us over the head with Ken Jeong.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was good.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
Because normally when he makes an appearance in movies, even the slightest appearance, they just beat us over the head with it.
He's at least 50% of the trailer. Like, I'm not kidding. I went and watched a bunch of the other trailers, and he's really prominently put in there. And I think that's to try and, I mean, honestly, it's trying to bait people that, you know, wouldn't want to go to a high school movie, but like Kim Jong to go see him. And, you know...
I was shocked that they didn't use Allison Janney more, being that she's so popular right now with Masters of Sex.
she's popular, but she's not popular with that demographic.
Yes.
She's more of a serious character and more of, I don't know, I don't want to say professional, more of prominent acting career that's been so much more heavy and serious versus Kim.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally cut you off.
They were also throwing a lot of jokes out that were like for older audiences. What's the main girl's name in the movie?
Duff.
Brianna.
Bianca. B. They call her B
Yeah.
throughout.
When she keeps making like cult movie references and horror movie references and talking about like Bela Lugosi and stuff like that.
Vincent Price Festival.
And it's funny because in the movie the characters don't get it, and in the theater
Nobody
one got it. Like, no, I mean, I got it. I knew who Vincent Price and Bela Lugosi was. Or like when Allison Janney had the Spinal Tap joke. It's like, I knew where she was going from the beginning, but even when she like spelled out 11 Spinal Tap, you know, like no one, everyone in the audience is just like, chirp, chirp, chirp. So, like, there's some stuff in there for the older audience to
Which I was
get.
kind of shocked because our audience was
Mixed.
older than me. And I got the Spinal Tap reference.
It wasn't funny, like in the movie. It was just there.
Yeah.
It was almost like
They ad-libbed it.
Turn it up to 11.
it might have been ad-lib, but to me it felt like it was supposed to make them look old and like they weren't
What's going to happen in 20
hip
years?
with the new things.
We don't have to explain to kids what Twitter and Facebook is. And
Yeah.
all of those things.
We
but
were actually talking about it. This movie won't age well because
Oh,
of its
no.
reliance on
social media.
everything today. You know, Pinterest. I doubt Pinterest will be a thing in 10
Snapchat.
years. Yeah,
Who knows, that'll be a thing until
Yeah.
next year.
creeping on my Pinterest. That was so funny. God, that scene made me laugh so freaking hard.
Yeah. I love speaking of social media, they had this screen at the beginning. Like, the only thing they showed, because they didn't show previews or anything, was this big screen that said, you know, here's the 9 different social medias that you can find the DUFF and Twitter and Snapchat and the website and all of that. This is after they take everyone's cell phones away, so that no one records the movie. It's just like, yeah, no one has a pen. Like, it's 2014. No one brought a pen to the movie theater.
Only 15.
Just
Dang.
It hurts.
Dang. Well, that's the DUFF. If you like the way that we do these reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out our Patreon page, and as always, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.